Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So in today's video I'm doing another full face of Revolution makeup. I know I already did one of these like a month ago, testing out a load of new products, but I went shopping again. I've picked up a few more bits. So this is not a complete full face. I'm using some new products, some old products, but everything is going to be Revolution or one of their sub-brands. So in terms of new testing out today for the very first time, I have the IRL filter powder. This is the one that's like the double compact thing with the pressed powder and the loose powder. Excited to see how that looks on my incredibly dry skin. I also have the XX Revolution Glow Sculptor. So this is the bronzer and blush duo, cream duo. So excited to get into this. This is the lightest shade that they did, which is Forgive and Forget. So gonna be getting into that as well. And then lastly, for the brand spanking new items, is the I Heart Revolution Mini Chocolate Shadow Palette. This is in the White Vanilla Cream shade. So excited to get into this as well. I already have two other videos testing out the other shades, two of the other shades in this collection. I absolutely love them, so I've got very high hopes. Very high hopes indeed. But I'm going to be starting with the base today with some of my favourite products. So this is the Relove Super Serum Hyaluronic Acid Foundation. I wear this in the shade F3. One of my all-time favourite foundations. If you have dry skin, this is absolutely amazing just for every day. It's not the most intense high coverage foundation, but I find it just blurs everything out, covers over everything really nicely. I do believe I have a full day wear test for this foundation. I will leave it linked if I do. I'm fairly certain I did one. Either way, I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to blend it out with a brush. This is my preferred way of doing it as well, because it's quite light coverage and it's obviously a very thin sort of serum-y texture. I find that it's just easiest to use a brush. I suppose it would also be quite easy to use your hands, but I don't like using my hands. I don't like having the product on my hands. I don't know, I just end up wearing it all over myself. So it's more just me being messy. So as you can see, it just evens everything out. You can still see this cluster of guys living on the end of my nose. I started with one and now I've got 3 spots just living right there on the end of my nose. So you can still see those. You can still see my freckles, but it's just a really nice light to medium coverage, but feels like absolutely nothing. Just feels like a little bit of your skincare. It's so good. For concealer, I'm going in with the IRL Filter Finish Concealer in C3. Again, I have a full review video wear test for this, so I'm just going to dab a little bit of this just into the inner corners, and I will blend it out with a brush. And the more I use this concealer, the more I love it. I find that, well, in that first video where I tested this concealer, I think I just applied way too much of it. You need the tiniest little bit and blend it right out with a brush or a sponge. I really rate this concealer so highly. It's such a nice finish, stays all day, doesn't crease too badly, I don't find, but the coverage, it's the coverage for me, and the finish is absolutely beautiful. So I'm quickly just going to do my brows before I move on to the new cream base products. So I'm using the Revolution Brow Duo in the shade Brown. So I'll be right back when I've got some brows on my head. Okay, so brows are on. Let's get into this one first. The XX Revolution Glow Sculptor Cream Blush and Bronzer. And like I say, I got this in the shade Forgive and Forget. I think they had like 4 shades of this, and this was the lightest one, obviously. So let's see. Ooh, the packaging is lovely. I've got an XX Revolution highlight and it's in the same like ribbed like packaging. Really lovely. Then how do you get into it? Ooh, like that. Ooh, those colours are beautiful. That blush is so bright. That is like the perfect like summery blush for a very fair skin tone. Ooh, I'm excited. Right, what brush do I want? Let's go for the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I'm going to go into the bronzer shade first. I'll just tap in very lightly because the other cream bronzer that I have tried from Revolution, the Ultra Cream Bronzer, is so pigmented. You need like one dip and it does your whole face, it does your friend's face, it does everything. So let's just see how pigmented this one is. I've got some on my brush there. Ooh, yes, that's nice. It's not too pigmented. It's just right, I would say, on like first swipe. Yes, that colour is lovely and warm. There's not any sort of coolness or like neutral in it. It is very warm, but I really like that colour. That is beautiful. I will dip in a little bit more to do round the top of my head. Yes, that bronzer is beautiful. It's just the right shade for me. So if you are also incredibly fair, that would be a really great bronzer shade. I don't feel like I could use it as like a contouring bronzer, like it is just straight up bronzer. I do feel like I want a little bit of contour just right under here, but I really enjoy that shade. So I'm going to go in with another Real Techniques Seamless Complexion brush, and I'm going to dip into that blush. And again, let's see how pigmented that is. That looks a lot more pigmented on the brush. Let's see. Oh, that's so bright. You know what this is like giving me? I'm more feeling like this will be the sort of thing that I reach for in summer when I am wanting that more bronzy, fresh skin. I feel like, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again, I like to change up my blush seasonally, and I feel like as I look out of my window and see the snow falling, this isn't the sort of thing that I necessarily reach for, but the colours are beautiful. It's not disturbing my foundation underneath, it's blending out really nicely. They are both a really nice level of pigment. I really like those. And like I say, they had other shades, so I would be interested to see what the other shades are like. Like I say, this was the fair one. I would be interested to see what the light one was like the next one up from this. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So now that we have all of the cream products on, I can go in to the powder, and I really don't know what to think about this. I have seen some good reviews. One of my lovely followers messaged me and told me that I needed to try this, so if I can get it out of the box. So it has the pressed powder on the top and then the loose powder underneath. Okay, it's got a seal in it. Good. Ooh, that is a loose powder. Even taking the little seal off, I can see that everywhere in front of my lights. Wow. Okay, so I think I'm going to do is do the pressed powder on one side and the loose powder on the other, so that we can see what the difference is. I like a pressed powder and I like a loose powder. One of my all-time favourites is a loose powder from Revolution Pro, I think. Yeah, I think it's Revolution Pro, the Hydra Matte one. It's absolutely fantastic if you have dry skin. So I've got high hopes. Let's go in with the pressed powder on this side and let's just see how it goes with a brush. Okay, so first impressions, it looks quite white. Even though it says that this is translucent, that looks quite light, even for me. So let's just dust a little bit under here, very lightly. Okay, so that looks really nice and soft. It's definitely blurred, it's definitely like mattified really nicely, like down in this area here. This is like really the only area that I like to put setting powder, just to stop it looking too shiny down the middle. So you can see like the before and the after there. So that's the pressed powder. I'm now going to swap over brushes and I'm going to go into that loose powder, and I'm just going to dip straight into there. Again, that looks really light, but it does seem very finely milled. It does seem quite lightweight. Ooh, I can see that like flying around in front of my eyes. Okay, so both of those have set really, really nicely. I feel like ultimately, for me, looking in the mirror here, they both look the same. They look really, really nice though. It looks really, really good. I just don't really see what the benefit of having both in the same compact is. Like, you could just have one or the other. Unless, of course, I'm completely missing the point. I haven't really looked this up very much at all. Are you meant to use like a loose powder in one part of your face and a pressed powder in another part? I don't know. I'm putting it out there. I don't know. I, funnily enough, don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making this up as I go along. But both of those are really, really nice. Both sides don't feel heavy. They just feel like nothing, really. It doesn't feel like anything. You know how, like, if you have dry skin, you might know what I mean here. Sometimes when I put a powder on, I feel like it's drawing all of the life out of my skin and it feels really dry. This doesn't feel like that at all. It feels lovely, but it looks set. So I'm happy. I am very, very happy. I like both sides equally. So now let's go on to the eyeshadow palette. Like I say, this is the Mini Chocolate Shadow Palette in the shade White Vanilla Cream. Let me take the little, I haven't even taken the security seal off this yet. One moment. So that's what the packaging looks like. It's quite a substantial palette. Like, don't compare this to like the ELF bite-sized palettes. It's considerably bigger than that. The pans are considerably bigger than that. So that's what it looks like, and that's what the shades look like inside. I am so excited to get that middle shade swatched immediately and probably put all over my eye because that just looks incredible. I don't know how well you can see it just in the pan there, but it looks like a white with almost like pink glittery reflex in it. It looks so pretty. So let me get this swatched and then we can put something on the eyes. Okay, so we've got shade number 1, which is like a cool toned sort of tan brown shade. Perfect for me for like a transition tone, but on anybody like any deeper than me that wouldn't work. Then the second shade is a shimmer. Ooh, that is pretty. That is like so icy when it catches the light, but when it's not in the light that looks very similar to the first shade, and then it's like bam. So pretty. Then we have shade number 3. Let me just show you that on my finger there. How incredible. I'm so excited. Oh, wowzers. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I need that shade all over my eye. So that's like blue and then white and then pink. Oh my goodness. I am in shock. How incredible is that colour? I really hope that's coming up on camera as insane as that is in real life. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Okay, and then the 4th shade is much more of a warm matte brown. Really pretty. And then the last shade is another shimmer, and that is another beautiful like chocolatey rich brown, and that is also very pretty when it catches the light. That almost has like a lilac undertone to it when it catches the light. Can you see that? I really hope these shades are showing up as incredible as they have on my hand. So we all know I need that middle shade immediately right across my lid. I can't get over that. It's absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna just do something probably quite basic and then put that everywhere, basically. So I'm going to use a fluffy brush into that first shade, and I'm just going to put that in the crease. Then I'm just going to use that same brush and I'm going to dip into that warm brown shade, this one here, the fourth one along. I'm just going to deepen up the outer corner a little. Okay, so those two shades just creating like the perfect warm brown smoky eye for like just a basic everyday warm brown smoky. They are beautiful. I feel like it's really making my eyes look really blue, which I love. So I'm going to just dip straight into that middle shade. I'm going to use my finger. I'm going to keep this brush out though. I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit. Oh, it's just incredible. I'm going to take the tiniest little bit of that and just tap it onto the lid. Okay, so I do have quite a bit of fallout from that shimmery shade, and it doesn't seem to be wiping away, which just, it might be worth doing your eyes first if you have this palette. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's so pretty, but there is quite a few chunks of like iridescent pink glitter across my face, which is a little bit annoying, but we live, we learn. I'm going to go in with a bit of that darkest shade on that big fluffy brush again and just see if I can deepen up the outer corner a little bit. I know technically it's not the best thing using a shimmery shade like on the outer corner like this, but I feel like I just want something a little bit deeper out there. And since I'm here, I really may as well take a tiny little very dense flat brush into that second shade and see how that works. Yeah, that works packed on the inner corner, doesn't it? That is really nice and bright. Yeah, I like that. So that's the eyes done, and I've managed to use every single shade in the palette. I really like it. If you were like a medium to dark skin tone, I don't know if this would work. It is like more suited to a fair to light skin tone, I feel. I mean, they would definitely, like the shimmers would definitely show up. I just feel like you're probably lacking like a transition tone if you were a little bit darker than I am. However, I do really like it. That shimmer shade in the middle is absolutely incredible. The same as the other palettes in the same collection. That middle shade in all of them, I feel, is absolutely incredible. It's almost like a cream. That's how it like feels when you swatch it. It's almost got that like creamy texture. Absolutely incredible. So affordable. Massive fan. So I'm going to just put on a little bit of mascara. I'm using the Revolution 5D Whip Lift mascara. Absolutely love this one as well. So I'll be right back when I've got some big chunky lashes on. Okay, so mascara on, and for the lips I'm going in with the Satin Kiss lip liner in Heart Race. The saddest little tiniest pencil you've ever seen, and I can't find my sharpener anywhere. That is also quite sad, so I'm having to use a blunt pencil. But we make do, we make do. And then, over the top of that, I'm going in with, where have I put it? Here. The Relove Baby Gloss in the shade Sugar. So this is a little bit more brown, a little bit more neutral. This is looking quite pink. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of this over the centre. And that is me done. Another full face of Makeup Revolution. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have picked up any of the new products that I was talking about today. So mini like first impressions, the powder I feel looks really nice on dry skin. I feel like that looks really good. I don't know how this shade would work on somebody with deeper skin, but I feel like if you are fair or light like me, then it is really pretty. The cream bronzer blush duo, I really like that as well. Again, interested to see the other shades. I feel like the packaging is really nice and substantial. We'll definitely have it sitting out somewhere in my new background, and then the eyeshadow palette. Next time I would do the eyes first, just because there was a little bit of fallout, but the colours are incredible. If you want to see the other reviews for the other two palettes in that collection that I have, I will leave them linked up here and in the next screen in a second. But let me know what you think of all these products down below. As always, I will leave all of these linked, but until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!